All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. I hope everybody had an awesome trading day today. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in. One second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Well, yeah, I hope everybody's doing great and had a great trading day and is having a great evening. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Before we get started here today, we're going to be talking about day trading methods. Day trading methods. We're going to conclude our conversation this week. We're going to talk about day trading methods and swing reversals plus stochastics. So this should be pretty cool. So this will be a good one. Before we get started here, take a moment to review this disclaimer. Everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. Ooh, lost my, 1 second, I lost my disclaimer. Sometimes they disappear. 1 second. Let's see. Desktop. 1 second, guys. Where does that disclaimer go? There it is. That show up there? Okay, good. So everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. All right, awesome. So let's take a look and see where we're at in the market today. So today is Thursday, right? So December 5th, 2019. So let's take a look and see here. 1 second. Make sure this is switched over. Okay, good. So with the market, right? Here's the SPX cash, right? The S&P cash index. So we closed up $4 today. Okay, nothing too impressive, but it is putting a lower shadow in on the monthly chart, on the weekly chart, and this is what's happening on the daily. Okay, so what we've seen is this upward trend, right? So we have this trend line here that goes from the high to the low. We connect with our minor pivot that doesn't intersect with anything else. So right now, previously we were seeing the trend was going up until proven otherwise, and then what we saw on the second is that it tried to prove otherwise, right? It flushed really quickly through the trend line and then gapped down pretty hard, right, to almost look like it wanted to confirm. But instead it reversed off of it, gave a hammer, and kind of gapped up a little bit. So, kind of similar to this type situation right here, right, like pushed down really quickly and then came up, right, then chopped around, then worked its way up. So we came down, now we're chopping around, and let's see if we work our way up. It's pretty interesting stuff. So let's take a look and see what it looks like on with the daily price action here today. So here's our chart. Right, here's our geometric chart from 2018 to 2019. You see the end of the year right here. We got to the pitchfork median line, came above it a little bit, came back down. When we gapped down, we tagged that upward channel, right? That was showing like prior support. So that's one thing going for us, right? That we're holding that as support. Okay. Price action today, 15 orb down, right? Came back in. Here's a look at the levels that we use. You can see I still have this the cool stochastic that we were talking about the other day. Let's see. So let's pull up today's date. Okay, so these are levels that we provide to our subscribers before every market open. This way we could use these levels, to trade with, right? We have some key levels on here that we come up with on the daily chart and some other levels too. So you can see we gapped up a little bit and had a quick reversal, right? And then one strong bar right here to push down, right? A little bit of a lower shadow right here, and then it gave up and then just went level to level right there. Then we had a key reversal, nearly a key reversal, and then worked our way up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about that key reversal technique and applying it with the stochastic. So 1 second here. Give me one moment. All right. So give me 1 second here, guys. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so here we go. So let's get started. So basically tonight we're going to talk about the key reversal signal, right, with stochastics. And so what that is basically, let me illustrate what a key reversal signal would look like. Okay, so when anybody says, hey, this is a key reversal or a swing reversal, which is why this is called swing reversals. Let me go to the 30-minute chart because that's what we're going to be focusing on here. And we'll just go 30 days out or so. Okay, I'm going to switch this to the bar chart. Okay, so just in case you're not familiar with the bar chart, right? So the left side of the bar shows you where you open, right? The bar, right, shows the range of price, high, low, just like the candles, right? And the right side of the bar shows where you close, right? So basically a hammer would look something like this, right? You open high, right? You finish low, and then you close. If you closed above it, right, that would be basically like a green hammer on a candlestick, right? So very, very similar to candlesticks. Okay, so what a key reversal would be is you'd have a down move like this. Let's just say here, here's your open, here's your close. All right, your next bar would go lower. You'd have a lower low, okay? And then your close would be below this close, okay? like this. And then your next bar, right, bar 3, would be above it, right? Would have a higher low than this one, and the close would be above this close. So it could be anywhere, if it's above it here, basically anywhere above here. So let's say here's your open, and here's your close, okay? Whoop. That was going all over the place. All right, so that'll be your close right there. So that's essentially what the yep. So as long as it closes above the second bar's close, then we're good, right? So as long as it closes, this close is over this close, we're good. Higher high, right, and a higher close. I mean, obviously it would happen at that if we have a lower low anyway. The close is always going to be over it. But anyway, something interesting there. So one example is right here. Okay, so here you have a one bar, another down bar with a lower low, right? And then this candle right here has a higher low, and the close is above this close. So there's your 1, 2, 3 pattern, right? So with this pattern, what they would do is basically use this. They look to go long at the open of the next bar, right? And of course, you have to handle a little bit of a pullback right there, but you can see that that was a key reversal bar on the SPX today using the 30-minute chart. Okay, so what they use on this one with the stochastics is to just look for bullish divergence with the stochastic. Okay, so what you do is you go to stochastic. This time they recommend using the 9, the slow stochastic with the 9, the 9-period moving average. So let me edit that. So it defaults to 10 on the slow stochastic, so just drop it down to 1 on each of those. And then so we'll apply that there. Okay, and there's the slow stochastic. And so what they would look for is, as part of this lower low, here they would look for, right, some bullish divergence on it, right? So here it doesn't quite happen, right? You don't have, here's your bullish move here, right? But here you were actually moving up on this too, so that was kind of just a bullish continuation move with the stochastic. So what we would do is we would just look for when this key reversal bar happens and when we're seeing a bullish divergence move, okay? So one example would not be that. Oh, actually, here is an example. You have a higher low and the closes below it, so it wasn't really okay. It was a good example. Let's see. I think back. Let's see. We saw one here. I do have the pre-market data turned on, but I don't think it matters that much. Yep. I mean, so this is kind of an example right here, right? So here you can see we had a low bar, right? Then we put in a lower low, right? And then actually the close, this close would need to be below the other bar. So I think I had a better example on Facebook. So let me pull that up here real quick. Okay, so let's see. So Facebook, may have even had the stuff still on it. 1 second. Yep. Okay, so this is a pretty good example right here. So here, no, I had the higher low on that one. Sorry guys, I had this all mapped out a second ago. Tricky to find these lows. So you can see this is a rare occurrence, right? But hold on 1 second. This looks pretty good. Okay, this is technically one right here. Okay, it's a little bit tricky. I mean, this is a little bit tricky right here. So, but anyway, here we had a lower low, right? The close was below this close. Then we had a higher low, and the close is above this one, right? So we can see here that from this range to this range, there was a little bit of a bullish divergence here. This is really kind of stretching it on this one, but it did lead to a pretty massive reversal on that. I'm trying to find the best one that I had seen recently. Yeah, this one's pretty good right here. Okay, so here we go. So this close here, it's fun trying to catch these reversals. But anyway, lower low, closes below this close. Higher low closes above this close. Okay, and so you can see we were going down from here. This is a better example. I'm gonna remove these trend lines so we don't mix them up. Okay, so here we're going from here to here, right? But on the stochastic, we're going from here to here, right? So you can see that bullish divergence. This was going down while the stochastic was going up. So the idea is the entry is on the open of this candle, right? And then it's essentially either swinging to the close, right? So that goes from 196.77, right, to 197.50, right? Or you can continue to swing that, right, as it continued to work its way up to 203 all the way up here. So, so however you like to manage the stops on that. I mean, here would have been a great trade to 200, right, from this from 196, so a nice 4-point move over 3 days, or even the next day a nice move up to 199, or even that day has it closed higher. So just a kind of a cool tool to use to look for divergences and to use the key reversal pattern, which is really kind of the key technique that we should be which is the goal of what we're seeing here. So. And yeah, that pretty much shows it here. I mean, this is actually kind of one right here a little bit. You can see this low here pushed down below has a lower low, lower close. This has a higher low and then a higher close, right? And you can see right here, right from here to here was a lower low, and here to here, right? You see the bullish divergence in the stochastic versus the key reversal bar, and then so your entry is on the open of the next bar, which is right here. A little bit of a pullback, and then it ended up, pushing up to 199, almost over a point. So now we'll see if Facebook gets a continuation to the upside using this technique tomorrow. So anyway, good stuff. So that's the concept here. So I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, and we'll try to wrap up as soon as possible. So, I mean, as early as possible, but 10:30 at the latest, so we can all get a good night's sleep and have an awesome trading day tomorrow. And keep in mind, tomorrow is Friday, so options expire tomorrow, right? So be careful, right? We don't want to get stuck holding an option, right, and get assigned, right? And also the other thing too is theta is declines really quickly, which means that it's basically pure momentum move. So that's why a lot of people like to do the Friday lottos. So keep that in mind, that we might want to consider, if you trade the weekly options, consider trading next week's options. So so good stuff. Give me 1 second here. Okay, good. So yeah, so I hope everybody's doing great. Superstar, what's going on? Google, that's your favorite. Let's take a look here. Give me 1 second. Let me put this back to the 15-minute chart here, and let me remove this. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to look for. Again, there's other cool tools too that are very similar to that with RSI, right? Things like that. But that was just a pretty cool strategy that that was part of the book. So let's see, and let's change it back to candlesticks there and get everything kind of back in order. There. Okay, looks good. All right, so let's take a look at Google. So Google had a pretty good couple of days, right? So a little bit tricky, right? So Google always is a tricky one to trade, but it had a big push down. Right now, this one had relative strength this day, to the rest of the market, and there's a circle instead of a trend line. Relative strength instead of with the rest of the market, right? Had a nice gap up here. Right, pretty strong close, new pivot, closed above it today. A little decreasing volume with a northern doji on it. So a little bit tricky seeing what it's going to do into tomorrow, but nice gap up this day. Some folks who saw relative strength in this one that swung that long got rewarded on that one, but no real setup on this one, and Google can be kind of tricky. But we'll see what this means here with the northern doji with the decreased volume on it into tomorrow. Cool. We got Shirley sent in a few, so let's check out those. Okay, so JP Morgan at all-time highs. So fresh high, fresh trend line, right? So let's take a look here and see. So we have the macro trend line here still. So this did what the market is probably going to do, is switch all-time highs and switch our trend line up, right? So we do have all-time highs here, so it is bullish now until proven otherwise again. It didn't have as much volume as the previous 2 days, but it did show some relative strength today, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. TSM, also a strong close today, all-time highs. Did it close above this high though? This high was 54.37. It did. It closed 3 cents above there, so that shows some nice bullishness, nice increased volume on that one. So yeah, so Taiwan Semiconductor is looking pretty bullish, and in fact, it's so bullish that I'm going to add it to the game plan for tomorrow. So I like that one. Nice breakout bar today. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to add that there. Good. That was a good one. EXPR. Wow, big move today. Up to $5 from $4, right? So that's a big percentage move on this one. Big volume. At this point, just be careful with a big candle like that. A lot of times, if it does break over today's high, it could give another move, like a quick bounce move type thing. But also be careful, it might consolidate for a couple of days as well. And let's see, MDLZ. Actually looking pretty good here, Mondelez. I like how it has entered into the cloud. The volume is a little bit decreased from the prior day, but I like how it's kind of working its way up right here. So I would say it is bullish until proven otherwise. So another fresh move up tomorrow could get out of the cloud and could keep going after that one. And then Reezy. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting here. So it looks like a bullish close today. I like the increased volume. Here's your prior high from the gap. Now here's your low the next day, so that makes this kind of like a really tough one right here. But it did close above all these resistance levels here with increased volume. So it does look like it at least get to the cloud to get to that area, and then possibly your other levels. And then C's. Wow. Be careful with this one, Sherry. Lots of upper shadows all around, right? It looks like Shamu kind of like, bouncing out of the water and kind of coming back in, right? Just be careful with these upper shadows. Big waves here, big splashes, right? So this close today is a little bit risky. In fact, there's your recent high. You're basically in a trend box right now, with an upper shadow. So it may want to test the lows of that trend box first before deciding, which way it wants to go. So something to keep in mind there. But good, great charts tonight. Awesome stuff. Experience and thoughts. Good evening. Oh, I don't get you didn't do the little city at evening. That's a good one. Anyway, good to see you, man. Robin, what's going on? Cool new avatar. Good evening. McDonald's. Let's take a look. Yeah. Mickey D's. Mickey D's, please. So it is, I think this is one of our morning ones that we did. So let's see. So here's your macro trend line right here. Whoa, got a square, not a trend line. Here's your macro trend line here to the lows. Okay, so these are your minor pivots right here. Right, so kind of the high that we really got to get above is that. Right, so we're kind of an inside day, and then we came back in the range right now. This thing has been really chopping in this range for a couple weeks. Right, so I mean, there's kind of your high, and it's kind of like just really in this congestion zone right now. So see if we can get out of that. Right, and the only way we could a bullish close over this with increased volume. Ideally we would do it over here, like in the cloud, and then we could start working our way up. But hanging out below the 200-day moving average, just kind of blah right now, right? And Baba, let's take a look. Yeah, so Baba is also in the trend box as well, but it's getting close to the top of it. If it can break out over this top level here and close above it, right, we can shift our trend line over, and then the trend will be up until proven otherwise. So it's a good one there. QQQ. So guys, I mentioned the other day that you can fix these candles. Right, so if you go onto the into the daily chart a couple days, or into the intraday chart right here. So let's go here. If we go back here, the low of that day was here at 199.23, and it says here the low was 193.79. So 199.23 is the right one. So if you right-click on it, correct this bar, you say 199.23. Everything else is the same, keeps it the same. You hit apply, you close, and now that has an accurate candle for that day. So you can actually fix the candles on these things to what is accurate, or for whatever reason. So I guess they know that sometimes some bad data comes through. But anyway, so that's important to know, right? Where these lows were, where because that big lower shadow makes it look stronger than it really was, right? All it did was come down to support right here and held, right? So so right now this shifts the trend box right here. So we edit this, activate this, shift this here, right? So now we're in the trend box there, and see what we do, right? So we had a little doji, right? Kind of tried to do a doji sandwich, couldn't quite do it, but let's see if it works its way up to all-time highs, and then we can shift that trend line. My pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. Sherry, good evening. Experience and thoughts. Docu, yes. Docu is going to be on the 15 orb list for tomorrow. Earnings tonight. Let's take a look and see what it did here. Ooh, that's pretty good for Docu. Good. I know I contributed some of that to him. So look at that, hit a low of 65, high of 76.75. So 76.75 puts it where? Puts it over all these recent levels here. Ooh, puts it at all-time highs potentially tomorrow, which means this is an excellent gap and go candidate for tomorrow. So so that'll be good too. Give me 1 second here. All right. Good. Yeah, so that's definitely gonna be on our radar for tomorrow for the open, and then crowd CRWD earnings are tonight. It's awesome. So many of these like little these little names here, these recent names are showing up here. Yeah, CrowdStrike here, a little bit choppy. Barely could get over today's highs off of earnings. So we'll see if that gets any higher in the morning. So pretty disappointing in that, right? So we were hoping for maybe something bigger so it could kind of get out of the cloud here and give us some sort of gap and go opportunity, but not so much luck on that one. We'll still add it to the list and keep an eye on it in the morning. Good ones. And then Ulta. You're doing all the earnings ones tonight. This is great. Yeah, so Ulta is really interesting, guys. So Ulta had a big gap up overnight, right? It kind of is drifted down a little bit. It's 263.80s at 257 right now, right? So this 263 is in this range right here. But look at this is key, right? So Ulta has this macro downward trend line, right? And then it also has this resistance level from its attempt to run up into the gap, right? So if we're gapping below that, Ulta has a very good chance of a reversal tomorrow, right? So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that at the open as well. So Docu has a good chance to gap and go. Crowd has a good chance to reverse. So something to look at. We'll see where they are at the morning. Harvey, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sarah, good evening. Hope you're doing great. AMD and Square. Let's take a look. I'll try not to forget Square tonight. AMD. So look at that. Just how it held the 200-day moving average all the way up here. And let's see. So very interesting stuff, right? So it's held the upward trend line, right? So it tried to break down here, right? It tried to, like everything else that day, but it came back in and held this macro trend line. So that's a big deal, right? It shows it really likes this trend, right? And so it held yesterday, nice move after that. And then today, a little gap up, came back down. It's kind of at the trend line right here. But at this point now, right, we wanted to see it close above that guy. Right, so now we want it to close above that guy, right, with increasing volume for us to at least take it for a swing. And Square. So Square is kind of sort of hanging in there a little bit, right? Here's your trend line, right? So this would be in a trend box right now, so we'll put this right here. So it's kind of hanging out in the box right now too. It would be nice to see if we could get over this trend line and over the 200-day moving average and over this and over that resistance level too. So Square's got some work to do. Get some work ahead of it. Could be good. Hey Sarah, hey Robin. Let's see. So Suresh, what's going on? Good evening. GSX. GSX, nice move today, but could not close above these levels here, right? So that kind of just brought it back in this range. So a little bit of a ascending triangle type look to it, you know, here, right? So for me now, it has to close above today's highs for it to try to break out again. So it was a nice attempt today, but they just couldn't do it. PG was on my long radar tonight too. I really wanted to see. I mean, did it end up closing above this? So yesterday's high was 58. Yeah, it did. It did it right at the end though, and it got some volume at the end too. I ended up passing on it on a swing, but this one does have some potential to move up. A lot of safety names were strong today into the close. FYI. Except Walmart is just kind of chopping around, guys. It just like had this big spike up at earnings, so anybody who had like some out of the money calls did good, and then it just came back in and it's been chopping since then. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on it here, see if we can eventually get close above 120 with some increasing volume, and then we'll get interested in it more than likely. MJ. ETF. So let's see, needs to close above this level right here, so it's just kind of chopping in this range. It's really consolidating right now. S-Bucks by the drip. Let's see. It keeps on getting rejected by the cloud every time it gets close to it. So, it's holding the 200-day moving average, rejected by the cloud. Eventually, it could compress kind of into this range right here, and then maybe it'll work its way back up. Then CL. Inside day. Colgate Palmolive action right here. Okay, so holding trend a little bit. So let's see if it continues to hold that. Breaks the inside day up and maybe works up its way up to the cloud a little bit. And Etsy. Green spinning top today, so it looks like they were defending these lows. So they did not want it below those lows right there. So that's a good thing, right? So not saying it's necessarily bullish, just say they defended it. right? So we don't know if that's accumulation volume or just defense volume, right? So accumulation volume, like we're going to see like this, ramping up in volume and all that stuff. We want to see like some nice bullish closes. For it to start getting interesting, I want to see it close over these guys here, and then if it does that, maybe it can work its way up to the cloud. Good. Sherry, is there a study for the yellow inside candles on my charts? There is. It's a custom program in Thinkorswim, but I'm happy to share it with you. Let me I'll paste it down here for you. Just an inside bar study. So just paste it in your Thinkorswim studies area and save it as however you want to. So just get at the bottom. You can cut and paste that in there. The hashtag is a comment tag on that. So anything you don't want to show up in the script, just do that. Okay. And what's going on? Lift, OYFT. Nice increasing volume. I like that, except I don't like that it was on a bearish candle, right? So unfortunately, this thing is just blah right now, right? It's in this, it's in the cloud. There's some volume going on, but right now, minor trend line wise, it's got to get above that line right there to work its way up. And then it has a couple other crazy pivots here. So really, I mean, this thing just honestly just needs to close above 50. With this kind of volume, and then we could look into the upside. I'm not saying it's a short because of the lower shadow right here, but yeah, it's struggling for some reason, so it's having trouble getting the lift. Home. Wow, big gap down today. Off of that, we looked at this last night to kind of see. So this, I guess, it's kind of said which way it wanted to go. But I like how it did close green. That means watch the 30 orb tomorrow and see if it gets like some sort of inside 30 or something like that for a potential move to the upside. Right? I like big volume on a green candle can give you a move the next day. And let's see what's next. Facebook. Okay, so Facebook is working its way up this ascending triangle, basically. So it just needs time. It's holding trend, which is good, but it's it's kind of blah. So let's see what that does for us. It's been pretty blah for a while, so maybe it's due for a move. And then UNH just also just kind of consolidating up in this this range here, just sort of this horizontal channel right now. So see if we can close above these levels with some increasing volume, might start to get interesting. So good stuff. Yeah, thanks for the awesome charts. Session, what's going on? CMG. Awesome. Yeah, working on a little cup right here, right? This has just been incredible, right? I love CMG, and I love how it responds to these fib fan lines, right? So, just a review of those fib fan lines, right? You go to, well, they're all over the place, but you go to the low to the high, you go to a low to a high peak, right? And you put them on there, and you just let them do their work, right? I think we went all the way from this low to this high at the time, right? And then we just let those things work. And once this thing got to it, every time it hit this fib fan line, it just kept on bouncing and bouncing, right? Bouncing. And this time it gapped below it. It's like, no, I don't want to bounce this time, right? And it came all the way to this fib fan line, which happened to correspond with the 200-day moving average. So you had double confluence right there, right? And it bounced off of that real nicely, kind of came back down a little bit, finally closed above this level. This is what we talk about, right? As long as it closed above that level, right? Increased volume, and then it started to work its way up a little bit more. Then it closed above these levels here, and then boom, we got that gap up right there. So now it's the next level is this guy right there. So a little bit of an ascending triangle kind of going to that. So see if we can close above here, the 825.60 or just 826. Something bullish with a bullish candle. And then it might test that 830 closing gap. Home Depot. Lower shadow day, inside down, failed to break down over two major prior gap and go level pivots right here. So it's found a little bit of support, 200-day moving average. So I'm not saying it's a long, but it seems to be defended here a little bit. And beyond. I'd say this beyond is just, it won't give you a nice candle ever. Well, it's got a big doji today. Anything after hours, nothing really going after hours. I mean, it had some big moves today. I mean, look at that candle right there. It's like they get all these deals, right? They have this deal with Costco. It's like, all right, yeah, everything's great. And then it's back down. And this thing's like almost not even tradable. I mean, it's, we'll have to wait for a setup for a swing, but it's got to get back above this macro trend line right here, right? Boeing, BA. Pretty bearish actually here. It ended up closing. Did it end up closing below this guy? Low. Not quite. It closed just above it right there. So this is kind of a major support level right here. But gosh, that was a nasty candle today. We were really looking at. This is the data short, right? We talked about that today. It gave a little pause day and then a little bit down and then more down today. So we'll see if that gets any more continuation down. So, or they try to prop it up tomorrow with some news or something like that. So just the amount of manipulation we've seen over these past couple of years has just been ridiculous. But it's always been the game. So we just have to ride the waves. Okay, cool. So Netflix breaking down out of the upward trend line here, but it's still holding these key levels here, these key support levels here. So keep an eye on it, and see if it gives us some strength here to try to work its way back up. Technically, it's in a trend box, right? So see if it can work its way out of that box. Okay, one way or the other, right? Heather, what's going on? Good evening, Roku and Shop. My pleasure. Let's see. So Roku. So I tweeted out some bearishness. I tell you, anytime you tweet bearishness on a chart, like people are like, "What?" Right? But if we look at here, this is kind of what I'm seeing with the where's my Elliott wave count right here. This is kind of what I'm seeing with the Elliott wave count here on Roku. Okay, so obviously this was an impulsive move up, right? So all the way up to its all-time highs, right? And then it was done. Right, and then it had an impulsive move down. So that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it starts with a 5. So the only corrective pattern that can be is a zigzag, right? So that's a 5, 3, 5. So here's your 5, and then you just have to count the rest of it, right? So 3. So you just got to find your 3. So there's a nice pivot right there. A, here's another nice pivot here. B, so C. So the question is it done yet? Well, by a rule of a zigzag, it'll never take out the all-time high, or never take out the start of wave A, right? And so this has gotten really close to it, and then gap down off of it, right? So to me, that could be the start. That could be the wave 1 of an impulsive move down. And that impulsive move down, you can see I have this line right here. It's the exact same size as this line here, right? So wave C can be equal to, and even could exceed the size of wave A. So this is just kind of an estimate right here to see where it might go. So keep an eye on Roku on the bearish side. We'll look for intraday setups on it and see if we can get come back and test the 200-day moving average. So some could think it's gearing to work its way up, and that's cool. I'm just saying this is a possibility, right? Because this wave 2 also happened to correspond with the 618 retracement, which is a common wave 2 area, right? So it's pretty close to over the 50, kind of area here. So we'll see. It might go another day up, and then it might start working its way down. But once it starts working its way down, then we're in a wave 3, right? And so that's a good place to potentially swing short. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that too. And then Shop has had a very similar pattern as well, but I don't think Shop is ready yet. I think Shop is doing something crazy. It's doing, let's see, which one is this? I believe it's this one here. Yeah. So Shop was similar, right? It had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breakdown. There's your wave A, right? And then it has this A, B. Okay, so so this A, B, right? It would need a 3, 3, 5, right? So that's a flat. So 3, 3. So it needs a wave 5 up. Well, it could be working on that. Once it got out of this channel right here, that was the start of it. 1, 2. Now this came back down, so this can't be 3, 4 here because wave 4 would intersect wave 1, and that's a rule breaker. So the only other way you could do that is it's a sub-wave 1, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we might be done with wave 4. We might have another choppy day or two, and then a pop to wave 5, right? Which is subwave 5, part 3, then 4, and then up one more, but it still would not get to all-time highs. And then once that's done, if we can get to like 409.50, I'm gonna load up on puts on Shop a couple weeks out or a month out or something like that, right? Because the range of here for wave A went from 827 to, so for a full month it was basically went down. So you go 2 months out on this thing and you get to really capitalize on that on a big impulsive move down on Shop. So something to keep an eye on. They're expensive, so something to look at. But you still do put spreads or something like that. So we're gonna keep an eye on that as well. Okay, good stuff. Regini, what's going on? Ulta, yeah, we just took a glance at that one. So it had earnings tonight, so it had a pretty good pop up. Let's just take another look here at what it looks like after hours here. So big pop up there. The high was 263. So if it worked its way back up there for tomorrow, it would be kind of in this range right here. Well, okay. Well, that's still below this pivot right here. So if it stays in this range or anywhere in here, it's a big candidate for a reversal tomorrow. So we're going to keep an eye on the 15 orb for that for sure. At the open. And then Amazon. Amazing Amazon. Very bearish, right? So I know it's hard to see with all these levels right here, but One of the weakest ones today, and it's supposed to be a market leader, so I don't know, maybe it's leading the way back down. But it had a big recovery move right here to the 200-day moving average. Tweezers tops came back down. Now it's below the cloud with increasing volume. Right, next level down is that 1731, which it could hit very quickly if it wanted to. And then RH, oh, what an incredible move today. Gap and go candidate. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. So DOCU is very similar to that. It's gapping over its all-time high. Well, RH gapped over as well. And then you can see the price action here. I mean, you could have traded it numerous ways. But here's your 15 orb right here. Inside 15, breaks the upside. 15 orb breakout right there. Boom. Right, and you can just kind of just ride that wave up today. Just incredible move on RH today. Tomorrow we'll keep an eye on it, see if it breaks today's highs. If it breaks today's highs, you might get a little bit of a scalp move to the upside on it. After that, it'll probably consolidate for a little bit, right? Here you have a big move up, consolidate. Get a little pop over the highs there, consolidate. So strong right here. And Warren Buffett, they're going to be buying the dip on that one. So, so anyway, something to keep an eye on there. Great charts. Experience and thoughts, BKNG. Inside day. So inside day that closed, pretty rough, down 17 points today. So just keep an eye on that inside day. See if it can get above these highs here. So activate that. It did gap up today. So based on its close, so it still was bullish this morning, but now it's got to get above those levels. And good. Appreciate it. Sean, what's going on? Hubs. Let's take a look. HUBS. Okay, bullish candle today. Increasing volume. I like it. You can see we have a big pitchfork on this guy, right? From this pivot to this pivot to this pivot, right? And so we started working on some Elliott waves in here. It did work its way all the way up, finished a wave 5 up here. Right, then it made a kind of a pretty complex correction here. That could have been wave 3. This could be a complex wave 4. That obviously was wave 5. So here's your impulsive move down. This could be 1, 2, possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be 3, 3. It might be trying to work its way up. Just watch this pitchfork resistance right here. And there's cloud too. So it gave a big push up into resistance today. So just keep an eye on that. Right? And it did not close. Did it close above this guy here? High. It did not close above that guy either. So 3 points of resistance. This level, and the cloud. So again, to me, I'd want to see more like good stuff, good volume like this, but a big push into the cloud, and then we can see it work its way up there. Good. And then AOBC. Nice move up. Let's see. So we had earnings were today aftermarket. Let's see. So let's see what that did today. Yeah, it tried to work its way up. It hit $10.50 and then kind of came back in a little bit. So let's see, $10.50. Yeah, if it could stay back up there, that would be good. That has some gap and go potential. It's got a nice gap right here at $10.90 or so to 11. So yeah, so that could be an interesting one for tomorrow for sure. And just make sure on Hubs. Yeah, so that was just there. So good. Nice charts. Matthew, what's going on? Good evening. Sherry, my pleasure, and my pleasure. Wendy, good morning. Hope you're doing great. Oh, nice day in Singapore today. LRCX. Let's take a look here. Woo. Almost looks like a falling wedge kind of going on, right? So let's see. So you have this kind of thing happening here. Kind of that kind of thing happening, right? So today's close was pretty good, right? I want to see a bullish close over today's high to work its way up out of that trend line there. Technically, from this macro trend line, we're in a box, but this could be a nice setup to work its way up to those highs. And then Baidu had some energy today. Got a little bit perky off of the inside day, and it just needs to work its way up and close above these levels here to try to really get going. And then Amazon, yeah, we just looked at that too. So that was a bearish candle today for sure, off of a big shooting star type setup right here, big topping tail. Big move down, increased volume, close below the cloud. It looks like it could test 1731 if it wanted to. If it did, it could go quickly. Jay, oh no, I'm too late. Never too late. I'm glad you made it though. I hope you have a good one too. Thank you for tuning in. Bose, what's happening? CME? Oh, wow. That was a good one. Nice closing the cloud there. Yeah. think we looked at this one. Yeah, so we're still in the trend box right here. So close over 208.78 would definitely be bullish for us. And then just watch out for X dividend here, and then it might be able to pop its way out of the cloud there. And then yeah, so that Amazon, that next support is 1731, right? And of course, I do those go-to levels every night too, where we post these, right? So you can always pull up that folder and and look those up, right? So you can add them to your chart if you want to. But yeah, so next support is this prior inside day low there. It's the next level. The closing gap below is right here. It could find some support there. And then prior support below that is 1680. It could really flush pretty hard there. You could actually consider this support as well, 1694. So yeah, so once it gets going, it could stair step its way back down, or just jump. Jay, oh, it's all good. Yeti, let's take a look. Ooh, Yeti, nice volume today with a big red spinning top off of some prior upper shadows right there. So this is a mess right now, unfortunately. They're trying, right? They're trying to put some volume. They're trying to bite up, and then they push it back down. So basically, it's still in this macro trend box. It's the trend box that never ends, right? So that's your trend box right there. So it's stuck in here. If you can get above that guy, right, then we can shift this trend line up, and then it can start working its way up again. So, oh no, you're good. Merritt, what's happening? Good evening. LMT. Oh, we got some defense stocks tonight. LMT. Inside bar. Okay, holding the cloud. So that's good. See if we can break that to the upside. And RTN. Raytheon. And also an inside day. So many of these are in their respective trend boxes, right? So this is kind of trying to break down right here, but it's in, this box here. Right. So see how it handles that inside day. If it could try to push to get out of that trend box, then we could shift our trend lines up, and it continues to hold. So Bose, yeah, my pleasure. Merritt, yeah, my pleasure. Well, good. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. So I hope, really appreciate everybody's chart requests. Really great charts out there, and really appreciate everybody's participation as always. Again, Thursday, so we won't be going live tomorrow. We will be going live on Sunday. Again, and we have a special guest on Sunday, so stay tuned for after this, and if you guys follow on Twitter. If not, check out the links in the Twitter box, and if you're new here, also be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And we have a special guest here on Sunday, so we're going to be on Sunday at 8 o'clock, so definitely tune in there. It should be a fun one. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and gets a good night rest, and remember your risk first, and stay safe, soon stay in the game, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey, Thomas. All right, guys, take care.